It's a great day at the Academy of Scholars. Welcome to another episode of Scholarly Speaking Live with Dr. Stacy Lambert-Johnson, the Director of Student Success at the Academy of Scholars. I am Benny Crane Jr., the Assistant Director of Student Success. Today's topic will discuss how to motivate an unmotivated reader this summer.
Thank you for joining us for today's live session. No matter where you're joining us from, whether you're at work or at home, we pray that you're having a great AOS day and hope that you can visit us here on campus someday soon. So last week we talked about how to keep our children safe this summer. This week we're discussing how to motivate an unmotivated reader this summer. But before we get started, Benny, where can our viewers watch today's live session once it's over?
Everything from this show ends up on our website, academyofscholars.com, including both the audio and video versions. Now, if you prefer watching us each week, you can find the video version on our Facebook page, YouTube channel, LinkedIn, and Instagram. If you're looking for something entertaining to listen to on your drive to work each day, you can download the audio version anywhere you download your favorite podcast. Now, shout out to all those people who are joining us live today. And to those of you who follow us on our social media platforms, we appreciate you joining us. Now, do us a favor, tell your friends we're on. All you have to do is hit that share button right there. Comment and tell us about your children's reading habits. Do your children love to read and always have a book in their hands? Or do you have to force your kids to pick up a book? Tell us, we want to know.
So Benny, in preparation for today's topic, I was thinking about when my children were younger and whether or not I had to motivate them to pick up a book and read during their downtime. And you know what I realized?
What's that?
I mean, my children didn't really have a lot of options.
Okay.
I didn't buy video games, they didn't have cell phones or iPads. And the only leisure activities that they could engage in were basketball and bike riding outdoors and watching TV, playing board games, or reading indoors.
Right.
So it really was no wonder that they always had a book in their hands growing up. So I feel like I was blessed to not have to deal with either of them being an unmotivated reader,
For sure.
even during the summer months. What about your kids?
Well, my kids do have video games, phones, and tablets, so there's that, right? But I need you to define unmotivated for me, because my kids enjoy reading, mostly because we've always made sure that we got them books they'd enjoy. However, reading is required in my house. And I doubt on their own they would pick up a book and say to themselves, I'm going to read a book right now for the next 30 minutes to an hour.
Well, maybe not for the summer. So yeah, that might describe an unmotivated reader.
Right.
They're gonna do it during the summer. They're not really motivated to do it over the summer.
All right.
But it's summer now, and I will venture to say that most children's first pick during the summer isn't to curl up on a couch and read, right?
Right.
So what can parents do to help an unmotivated reader? The first thing is to find out why your child doesn't like to read. In your case, your kids love to read.
Yes.
So this wouldn't really apply to you guys. Is it because they don't, or is it because they think it's too hard? Because the reality is that most people will not pick a hard activity to do in their leisure time. So that makes sense.
Right.
Or maybe they think reading is boring. If that's the case, they will definitely not be motivated to pick up a book and read this summer. Whatever the case is, once you find out the reason that your child doesn't like to read, you'll need to put a plan in place.
Yes, Stacy, as I shared earlier and you just reiterated, my kids enjoy reading. And I think it's because we found their wheelhouse to the kind of books they like to read, or the subject matter that is. My son loves the author Rick Riordan and his modern day take on Greek mythology. In the last 2 years, he's read over 13 of Riordan's books, and most of them are quite lengthy too. Now, my daughter likes dark fantasy, stuff with a little edge to it, and she does a great job of selecting books based upon the write-ups we find on them. Now, 2 things here for helping you find what we call good fit books for your kids. The first one is really simple: knowing what your child likes. And I'm not talking about if your daughter's a gymnast and getting her book about gymnastics. though that could work. Think about it like this. What kind of movies or television shows do they like? Many times these movies or TV shows have books about the characters. And also, knowing your child's reading level is really important. You don't want to get a book that's much lower than their actual reading level, and the higher above the reading level you go, the more important it is that they connect to and like what they're reading.
That's right. Now, second, parents should make time for reading this summer. Like we mentioned in Scholarly Speaking Live 52, how to make this the best summer ever.
Yes.
You should create a daily schedule. In that schedule, you should carve out time for your child to read, just like you do, Betty. Make sure the time allotted is a relaxing and enjoyable time. Your child should not feel pressured or bothered to read, because then it will feel like a chore and not something they'll be motivated to do. You can even read aloud to your child during this time, choosing a variety of books. And don't rule out audiobooks. Audiobooks can be an option and a motivator for reluctant readers this summer.
I get audiobooks as a companion to the books that my kids are reading, and I listen to them as they read along. This gives me a chance to talk to them about the book and gauge their comprehension without having to physically sit there and read. And because my kids are getting older, they are reading some really good books. So the audiobooks are good for me too.
I think I'm going to look into audiobooks. I haven't done it yet, but I think because of my schedule, I probably should.
Yeah.
Third, set the ambiance for comfortable and cozy reading by creating a relaxing reading nook, a space where your child can kick back, settle in, and spend time with a good book. And if you have the time, do it with them. Let them see you relaxing and engaging in leisure reading, because remember, children don't do what we say, they do what we do. So why not model this for them?
And I love reading too, Stacy, but I'm consuming more audiobooks and reading books on my phone nowadays. So it's important that my kids know I'm reading and not just web surfing or looking at social media on my phone. Otherwise, I would unintentionally be modeling a lot of screen time. So if you are reading books on your phone, tell your kids. Say something like, hey, I'm about to read this book on my phone right now. I'm really enjoying it.
That's true. Now, fourth, keep the reading material varied with fiction, nonfiction, joke books, cookbooks, comic books, magazines, a variety of reading material for them to select from. And if your child is a reluctant reader because they think it's hard, include easy picture books that an older sibling can read to a younger sibling, providing that older child practice that doesn't feel like work.
Yes, that's a good idea. And this is another area where having an audiobook can help. Some kids would read more if they had someone to read to them or with them, and having an audiobook could serve this purpose. It may be a little more expensive to buy the book and the audiobook, but it could make all the difference.
That's so true. And finally, fifth, make sure books are easily accessible in your home. For birthdays and Christmas, ask your child to make a list of books that they want you to purchase for them. Create a home library so that when your child decides they want to read on their own, they don't have to go searching for a book to read. Also, take trips to the public library and make sure your child has his or her own library card to check out books. Well, what do you think? How do you motivate your child to read over the summer? Do you engage in leisure reading as well? Did you learn something new from today's episode? Comment and let us know your thoughts on today's topic.
And if you're looking for more information to help you motivate your unmotivated reader this summer, go to our website at academyofscholars.com/scholarly speaking resources. In the meantime, we suggest you check out the book, Best Books for Kids Who Think They Hate to Read, 125 books that will turn any child into a lifelong reader, by Laura Backus. Inside this book, there are 125 books that are certain to ignite your child's interest in reading. You'll find a variety of titles with real kid appeal, the best of the best for children of all reading levels. These books will captivate your child's interest and create a passion you never knew that was possible. This book is complete with description and synopses, suggested audience and reading levels, recommended readings if your child enjoys a particular book, and much, much more. And remember, no matter where you live in the world, you can give your child access to an exceptional Christian affordable education with the Academy of Scholars Premier Online Learning. Not only does the Academy of Scholars give your child the opportunity to engage in school at their own pace, but we also provide a comprehensive curriculum with classes like coding and computer science that will have your child excited about school each day. The Academy of Scholars Premier Online Learning is the online school you've been looking for.
Well, I hope you enjoyed today's live session. To learn more about our amazing school, the Academy of Scholars, please go to our website at academyofscholars.com. Join us next time as we continue our live discussions. Next week, we'll be talking about summer learning ideas and activities for parents and children. Until next time, I am Dr. Stacy Lambert-Johnson.
And I'm Benny Crane Jr.
Saying goodbye and be blessed.
The Academy of Scholars. Exceptional, Christian, affordable.